New commitment for Notre Dame in the 2027 class. The Irish land their first defensive line pledge, and it is a highly ranked, highly coveted four-star prospect. We're going to talk about it in this video with Blue and Gold's Tyler James. Folks, please do hit the thumbs up on this video. Subscribe to the Blue and Gold YouTube channel for more content. And, of course, head to blueandgold.com for so much more Fighting Irish football and recruiting coverage. Quite the day for Notre Dame fans who follow recruiting. Just make sure you lock into this YouTube channel and our website, blueandgold.com. The commitment is from Aidan O'Neill, Don Bosco Prep in Ramsey, New Jersey. Ranks as the nation's number 110 overall player, number 13 edge, according to the Rivals industry ranking, which equally weighs all three rankings websites. That's, of course, Rivals 247 ESPN. Listed at 6'5", 250 pounds going into his senior year, Tyler James. I have a lot of thoughts here. Looking forward to diving into those thoughts. But first, let's hear from you, Tyler. What does the film say about Aidan O'Neill?
Yeah, there's a lot to like about what O'Neill does on film. He does a little bit of everything. He moves well vertically, as you see here. He's reacting to a screen pass to the outside, and he makes a tackle for a loss. So he can move well side to side, bends around the corner. As a pass rusher, it can play physically. They play a lot of 3 down front. Don Bosco Prep does here, so you'll see him a lot with both edge responsibilities in terms of pass rushing, but also holding the edge on the defensive line. A lot of read and react stuff too. I don't know why opposing offenses don't block him sometimes. It's like I think I'd make sure I get a body on him. Like even whether you're running at him or away from him, he's going to be able to impact the play. He makes a lot of nice plays chasing things down from the backside when he's unblocked. He can obviously beat offensive tackles around the edge. He has a couple of different moves that he likes to use. He'll swim to the inside or rip to the inside. Later in the film, you get some more of the run defense, splitting double teams, taking those on, showing his strength. I'm curious what his long-term potential development looks like in terms of what position he ends up playing. It's when I first heard about him, when I was starting to put the heat index together, I was told he was a bit of a tweener, and so usually the guys that you're not sure where they're going to end up tend to slide inside long term. But can he show that explosiveness on the edge and maintain the defensive end role? I think that's something that I'm curious to see how he continues to develop, what he looks like in his senior year out there in New Jersey, and continues to play at a high level.
Yeah, does play at a high level, plays great competition. This is the big Catholic, what do they call them? Like the Big Six in New Jersey. Like that team they're playing right now is Paul Catholic, where Notre Dame signed Elijah Burris and Nolan James Jr., like Bergen Catholic, where Notre Dame signed Steve Angeli's in that league. So big time competition. I love that private school competition in New Jersey. And I think this is Notre Dame's first player from Don Bosco Prep, which is definitely, all those schools are very Notre Dame friendly, but I believe this is Notre Dame's first in Don Bosco Prep in a while. I'll have to do some more research.
Yeah, last one that comes to mind to me is Elijah Shoemate. I think it was a Don Bosco Prep guy. That was a while ago. That was the Kelly era.
So yeah, we're definitely going back a little ways, and he had a very productive junior season. 54 tackles, 16 of those for loss, 7.5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, and that's in 12 games. I like him a lot, and yeah, you make a good point. Like usually when a guy's a tweener, they, especially like you're 6'5", 250 going into your senior years, like all right, chances are you're just going to keep putting on weight en masse. But talking to Notre Dame sources, like the plan is definitely to keep him as a defensive end, and that is not just like a lip service thing either. Like the what I'm hearing is that the full plan is like, yeah, Notre Dame thinks that he projects as a defensive end, and especially if he's a true 6'5", like that's different than being 6'1", 250, right? When you got that extra height. So I don't know. I think he'll stay there. It's only a good problem to have. We were talking before. It's not like, oh man, if he slides, he ends up as a 3 tech. Tyler's like, it's not like, oh man, we don't need 3 tech. Like anywhere, like my point is, anywhere he's going to end up playing is a win for Notre Dame, in my opinion. Like if he stays on the edge, if he ends up as an inside player, he's just a darn good football player, and the first defensive lineman for Notre Dame in the class. So it will be interesting to see kind of like the impact of this moving forward for Irish defensive line. Because it's like you have ends, you have D tackles, and then there's there's O'Neal who really can do anything, Tyler.
Yeah, I think Notre Dame has a lot of talented defensive linemen on the target board that they're in good shape for. That they could end in that they land in the class. I think Notre Dame has recruited the edge position so well that I think that's part of what could make it hard for Aidan O'Neal to stay at defensive end based on the others that could be coming in with him and are ahead of him with Rodney Dunham and Ebenezer Iwatade. So I think there's a lot to like about where Notre Dame sits with its defensive line recruiting. And I guess my hope is like, I feel like a lot of the guys that are these tweener types that get moved around back and forth from defensive end, defensive tackle, sometimes that stunts their growth a little bit. So like, figure out what you want him as a freshman, let him grow into that role, and then make a decision later on if you feel like you need to move him. Don't move him back and forth because sometimes it doesn't always work out.
With O'Neal, though, he seems like a different type of edge prospect. Like he's more of your Keon Keeley, your Myron Tagovailoa, so like that big, like Riley Mills when he was playing in, like more of that big end than more of the speed rusher. So he is strong side end. So I again, talking to Notre Dame sources, they're just like, you can't take enough big athletes, and they just feel great. So wherever he ends up playing, I think he's gonna have himself a nice career in South Bend. At the end of March, he had a top 7 schools listed of Notre Dame, Penn State, Tennessee, Kentucky, Indiana, Illinois, and Texas A&M. This one really, the final 3 ended up being Notre Dame, Penn State, and Kentucky. And really, Penn State finished 3rd. He only visited Notre Dame just the one time. He visited Penn State. Pull up his visit. So all these official visits, he at the top here, he hasn't taken. They're future dated. He did officially visit Illinois a couple weeks ago, but this actually visited Notre Dame twice. Oh no, once. That's the future dated one. So yeah, just Notre Dame once for the junior day, and that was it. Visited Kentucky just once. That was the team that visited second. And talking to some sources leading up to his announcement, there was a feeling there for a little while that Kentucky was going to be the team to beat, but he ends up picking the Fighting Irish. And yeah, we mentioned the defensive line board. Gosh, there are seriously so many guys. And covering recruiting for as long as we have, Tyler, I'm sure you've heard the same thing. Like D-line coaches, and this has been true from out like Elston to Washington, now Partridge. They like to offer as many defensive linemen and take as many as they can. I just feel like I've seen this in so many different regimes in my decade plus covering recruiting. It's like D-line coaches will just want to take as many as they can and be told to stop. So, you got Marcus Fakatu, you've got Braden Parks is out there. David Fuller runs shows committing in a couple of weeks to this day. Notre Dame is certainly a favorite there. Miami, I think, is the biggest competition. And then there's big time pass rushers who's Notre Dame's after on the outside that they're hoping to land. Abraham Cisse, of course, is a top name, the 5-star from Pennsylvania. There's new offers they've sent out recently that they're instantly in the mix for, like Xavier Muhammad from Houston. So, Tyler, defensive line recruiting could be pretty fascinating here moving forward.
Yeah, Marcus Freeman wants an O-line, D-line driven program, so they're usually not very shy about offensive line numbers. I think they need to continue that on the defensive line. Like, if you have too many, you have too many. But I think that's a good problem to have. Not all of them are going to hit, obviously, but you hope they do, especially when you're recruiting at the level that Notre Dame is right now. And so there's a lot to like. Can you pull the top 7 graphic back up?
Sure.
That you had of Aidan O'Neal. I don't know if this is angle or what. His arms look enormous there, lengthwise. Like, don't look at those. His arms look really long. When we were talking before the show, I was like, I just don't know what his like verified size is, but whatever it is about that photo, looks like his arms are pretty good length there. So something to keep in mind. Obviously, I think that's maybe something he can improve upon in terms of using that length to his advantage. But there are some plays you see on the film where he's shedding blocks and using his arms and throwing offensive linemen to the side.
We'll have to see if that was any Photoshop by Hayes. I don't. But yeah, that's interesting. I didn't even pick up like there. He looks like a true edge, like he does. Like he looks lean and like he looks like a tight end even. So I'm fascinated. Like, is he 6'5", 250? Is he more like 235, 240? Like you mentioned that earlier. You would like to know some of these things, and yeah, I'm certainly piqued my interest as well. Folks, please do hit the thumbs up on this video. Subscribe to the channel for more content. And like I said, go to blueandgold.com. Much more coverage on this news. Thank you all for watching, and we'll catch you next time.